gets the legal nod to monitor Bitcoin, Ethereum exchanges. The Australian Transaction Reports and Analysis Centre, Austrade, will be monitoring cryprocurrency exchanges after the Australian Senate passed the Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism Financing Amendment Bill 2017 on Thursday. The amendment bill, which was introduced in August, was approved by the House of Representatives on Wednesday, and took the Senate 1 day to pass. Under the amended legislation, digital currency exchange providers will be required to enroll with Austrac and register on the Digital Currency Exchange Register, the government agency now maintains. Exchanges will also need to adopt and maintain a program to identify, mitigate, and manage the money laundering and terrorism financing risks they may face. Similar to a bank, the exchange must also identify and verify the identities of their customers, and report suspicious matters, international transactions, and transactions involving physical currency that exceeds $10,000 to Austrac. They will also be required to keep certain records related to transactions, customer identification, and their program for 7 years. The updated Anti-Money Laundering and Counter-Terrorism Financing Act 2006 defines a digital currency as a digital representation of value that functions as a medium of exchange, a store of economic value, or a unit of account that is not issued by, or under the authority of, a government body, and is interchangeable with money in that it may be used as consideration for the supply of goods or services. The changes to the legislation means that for the purpose of investigating money laundering and terrorism, digital currency in the exchanges it is hosted on are to be treated in line with physical cash kept in a bank. The federal government announced that it would be aligning the GST treatment of digital currency, including Bitcoin, with regular money as of July 1, 2017, in a bid to promote the growth of Australia's fintech industry. This measure will ensure purchases of digital currency are no longer subject to the GST. Removing double taxation on digital currencies will remove an obstacle for the financial technology, fintech, sector to grow in Australia, the government said while delivering its 2016-17 budget. According to Fintech Australia, a not-for-profit body focused on fintech development, Australia is one of only a handful of countries, alongside Japan, to have made amendments to both its tax and justice laws to recognize digital currencies. Fintech Australia CEO Danielle Satho said the legislation's approval reaffirms Australia's ability to develop sensible and orderly fintech-friendly regulation, which both protects consumers and society, while allowing new industries to thrive. Now it is in place, the legislation will help bring further legitimacy to exchanges operating in Australia, unlocking the benefits of digital currency usage and trading whilst ensuring this is done in an appropriate way, she said. Overall, this development is the latest in a series of important steps that will ensure Australia's blockchain and digital currency industry remains one of the most highly regarded and vibrant in the world. According to Bradley Brown, acting deputy CEO of International and Policy at Austrac, despite not having a central blockchain and distributed ledger technology, DLT, governing body, interagency engagement to sort out the regulatory requirements is definitely occurring. We are definitely working with individual businesses on different elements that are relevant in our space, and I dare say other government agencies would be doing the same, Brown told ZDNet at Spit Australia in Sydney earlier this year. I think what we're trying to do as regulators is actually really bring that together, so when we speak, we don't speak as individuals. You have to walk before you run, and I think that's where we're really moving to. The price of one Bitcoin at time of publish is $16,276. United Kingdom plans tighter regulation of Bitcoin. UK Treasury is planning tighter regulation of Bitcoin, hoping to prevent the likes of money laundering and terrorism being paid for with cryptocurrency. Combank blames coding error for some alleged money laundering breaches. Australia's biggest bank is blaming an update for most of its failure to hand 53,506 threshold transaction reports to Austrac. JP Morgan calls Bitcoin fraud only for use by criminals and North Koreans. JP Morgan boss Jamie Dimon has not minced his words when it comes to the cryptocurrency. Blockchain development in Australia overseen by 8 regulatory bodies. In order to take a blockchain concept to market, Australian players need to jump regulatory hurdles enforced by 8 separate government bodies. Why more companies will be betting on Bitcoin in 2018? Tech Republic. Many organizations are still reluctant to trust blockchain technology, however others have found good use cases for it apart from Bitcoin. Beyond Bitcoin, how blockchains could revolutionize business. Tech Republic Blockchain 4.0 will spend this year uncovering uses for blockchains and other distributed ledger technologies beyond their use in cryptocurrencies.